Hey, Randy Joe here, and welcome back to Soul September, where throughout the month of September we have been listening to different soul albums, and so far we have covered 3 classic soul albums. And by classic, I mean some albums that are further retro, more specific to the 70s, prime time soul scene. And today I thought we would check out something a little bit more modern, yet still a classic, and that of course being Amy Winehouse's 2006 record, Back to Black. Now this is only one of 2 albums released in Amy Winehouse's lifetime. Unfortunately, she did pass in 2011 due to an overdose. Rest in peace, Mrs. Winehouse. However, she is, I would say, at this point, kind of a household name. Everyone knows who Amy Winehouse is and was. Her track Rehab, for example, is incredibly iconic and still is featured quite heavily in tons of different media. It is definitely a classic soul track now in the canon. However, I've not listened to the entirety of this LP before. I've only listened to Rehab. I might know the title track, but I'm not too sure. But given the fact that it does have over 8 billion streams, I'm sure I've heard it at one point or another. That being said, this is a rather short LP. It's only 34 minutes. It's 11 tracks, meaning she doesn't really waste any time with any of these. This was an album that was requested by a few commenters already on my video. However, I already did plan on doing it, but seeing the demand for it is certainly, a treat, because that means you guys will be happy to see it, and I will be happy to listen to it. So jumping into it, we have the incredibly iconic opening track, Rehab.
They tried to make me go to rehab. I said no.
Got that punchier soul sound. Probably would have been better if she did, truthfully. It's got that classic soul sound, but still very funky. And also some kind of hip-hop elements as well kind of brought into the mix. More so in the production. Some humor tied into the lines, and those horns, brassy and elevated. Again, have that classic soul sound. Love how retro, while new and refreshing, her album and music really was in the mid-2000s. Love the horn work, like I said. She has such a unique kind of inflection in her voice, too. It's like her accent kind of mixed with the cadence in which she sings. And a really powerful voice. Great opener. What can I say? It's iconic. Sets the tone. It's very kind of show tuney, kind of classic, kind of jazz club tone to it, while still having like that newfound 2000s production that is, I would say, kind of adapting some of the hip hop elements of the 2000s as well into the fold. Let's go into You Know I'm No Good. Going forward, I'm not too sure what to expect. I know Rehab, but I don't know the rest. Like this, for example, certainly has like a hip-hop influence in the drums. I like the somewhat ominous kind of piano work as well in this. Has a nice reverb to it. Ooh. A sax sliding in here. Also reminds me of kind of Nina Simone inspired in her voice. I'm sure she played a key component in her development. Getting a little kinky here. Kind of like a classic show tune in its sound. Very unique sort of blend of styles coming together here. But most notably soul, funk, and hip hop. Let's go into Me and Mr. Jones is the next one here. 2.5 minutes, a short track. Like some of these tracks really are. Quite short. Here we go with this one. Turn her man. Ooh.
What kind of fuckery is this? You made me
I love that delivery, that line. Oh, shout out to Slick Rick. Slick took the ruler. Much respect to that guy, he's a legend. I like the classic backup vocals too. Remind me of those classic soul musicians of the 60s and 70s. The Motown backup vocals. I love the kind of coldness in her delivery on this track. Very self-confident, self-proud. I really like this one. I like the almost like kind of bluesy mix. Subtle jazz elements in the percussion. Or like a classic jazzy blues track in a way. Let's go into the next one. That one was fantastic. I think that one's climbing up as my favorite so far in terms of the new tracks. Let's go into Just Friends. This one kind of subdued right at the start. Ooh. A bit of a reggae twist on this one. Now that is unique. That is a breath of fresh air. Big reggae fan after we did Jamaican June just a couple months back. Phenomenal genre. Really fun to explore. But hearing it here mixed to the soul sound with Mrs. Winehouse, certainly unexpected. I'm loving this blend of reggae and soul. Her voice. Kind of so seductive in her delivery. Very sultry. Oh. Yeah. Does horn work? We're gonna come back around. Oh. I love that short instrumental passage. I just wish it was extended. I love that track. Kind of low-key, laid back, with a great sense of reggae into the mix. Let's go into Back to Black. This is the title track. Over 1 billion streams on this one. I'm sure I know this track. I just don't know it by name. But seeing as it does have more than Rehab, and I'm very familiar with that track, I've got to know this one, right? Oh god, quite the vulgar display there. She doesn't shy away from bluntness, that's for sure. I'm not familiar with this one so far, though, I gotta say. That's sticking out to me. Do like its slow build though. A very subtle addition of each instrumental here. This kind of reminded me of like a classic James Bond track with this delivery. Very cinematic, kind of strings coming in too. Only adding more to that kind of James Bond-esque smoky atmosphere. A dial down here. Bit of a westerny tone too with those angelical kind of choir. Kind of reminded me of something out of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly with its cinematic approach. Unfamiliar with that one, which is shocking considering how many streams that one has. But I liked its cinematic approach. It felt very unique. I love how each track does feel like its own unique sense of blend of genres. Really not phoning it in this 30 minutes. Certainly making those 30 minutes feel very varied. Let's go into Love is a Looting Game. I like the sort of distant kind of instrumental on this one too. Very airy. Quite a slow one. Certainly takes its time, but I'm not sure how I feel about it overall. Not sure how I feel about that one. I feel like it was too laid back for my liking. Didn't grow into anything unique. However, probably will grow on me. It does seem to be a subtlety kind of strength of a track. Let's go into Tears Dry on Their Own.
I can ever be to you. It's the darkness that we know and this regret I got.
Oh, this is sampling that classic Ain't No Mountain High Enough, I believe is the sample here. Working in those classic soul melodies. Oh. I love the inflection of her voice, the way she kind of morphs it. Really reworking that track. Doesn't want to belong to any man, seems to be the main concept here. A full of confidence Winehouse. Which her confidence, I feel like, shines through all of her music, you know? Ooh. Abrupt ending on that one. Love the reworking of Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Really just great use of that melody. And I love the full confidence in her voice on that one, which, again, like I said, her personality, her confidence shines through the entirety of this LP so far. Let's go into Wake Up Alone here. Disappears soon as the sun sets. Nope. Just about to say, this track's not doing much for me. But I do like the soulful elevation in the background there. Ooh, moon spilling in. I like that use of word. A feeling of emptiness. I love the lyrics above all else on this track. But even still, as much as I enjoy the lyrical side of things to this, and those gentle ahs in the background, I find this track to be a little bland in execution overall. Hypnotic though, making me feel a little kind of out of it. A sense of intoxication to it. Very conflicted on that track. In some ways I really like it. Other ways I felt like it was a little underwhelming. Here's Some Unholy War, kicking off with a thick bass line. I like this track. A lot of these tracks, I'm sorry to say this, I sometimes feel like they're lacking something. They feel underdeveloped. Or like they're kind of over before they even feel like they really truly get into it. This one really didn't do much for me, honestly. It kind of felt half-baked, underdeveloped. Personally, just a little bland for me. He Can Only Hold Her is the next one here. Okay, oh jeez. Picks up with that punchiness. Ooh. I love the brassy kind of classic soul tune. Ooh. Love that reverb too. Kind of feeling a little dub-ish with this one, like a reggae dub track, which is certainly a welcoming addition. Can't calm her down, can't chill her vibe. Man, this kind of reggae touch, reggae flair. I would have loved a full reggae project from Miss Winehouse with the way she teases it throughout this album. I like that one though. I was a little iffy on it at the start, but it certainly flourished and made up for it in the end. Let's go into Addicted as the final track here. Which, very brisk LP. We're already at the end. It flies by, which I think sometimes a fault. That reggae flair is still kind of kicking things off with that percussion there. A little bit of weed smoking track, eh? Not an expected track, but certainly works with that reggae theme. Love the kind of witty humor in this one as well. Tighter than airport security. Oh. Yeah, I wish we got more of this throughout the album though. More instrumental sort of meanderings. Kind of just let the band play out. Oh, again, very blunt in her lyricism, very witty in her lyricism. Lots of personality that shines through. I do like this one as well. Ooh, that little bass line shimmering out there. And that's it. What a quick, rapid LP that blends in a multitude of genres, such as soul, such as R&B, such as funk, such as hip hop, and such as reggae, which is certainly the most unexpected addition. I did not expect any bit of the reggae flair throughout this album, but it certainly was a welcome addition because it works very smoothly. It honestly feels so natural to Winehouse. I would have loved, I should say, a full reggae project from her because it would have really been an interesting foray, and I think been a bit of a reggae comeback that people, I feel like, never quite got. And Amy Winehouse could have been the one to kind of usher that in. But even still, what you get here is a fantastic blend of genres done in about 34 minutes. It's really rapid in its delivery. Some of the tracks, I will say, I wish just kind of expanded upon themselves a bit more. Maybe flourished more in the instrumental side or kind of let themselves develop rather than feeling like they finished before they even really began, such as Love is a Losing Game at only 2.5 minutes. Again, feels like it could have been extended and added more in the middle section or towards the end to really explore its sound. Same with Some Unholy War. It feels like it just kind of came and went. That being said, though, the tracks that do feel fully fleshed out show the incredible talent of Amy Winehouse. I do think, though, that her most fully realized track here is Rehab, which is why I believe it is kind of like the hit of the album. And Back to Black is great lyrically. I think it really does show her lyrical side things. Her lyrical side more than anything throughout that track. But I liked Just Friends. I liked Addicted for the sort of witty humor that she employs. I liked Tears Dry on Their Own with the production, sampling, and reworking Ain't No Mountain High Enough. And making it still sound unique, fresh, and kind of its own 2000s production all tied within it. I really liked Wake Up Alone as well. A sad track. You know, there's a sense of melancholy to it, but it is still got that sense of groove and show tune to it. Very unique artist, I would say Amy Winehouse was, but I still feel like this album was only scratching at the surface of what she was capable of, because, like I said, my issue with it, and this is the first time listening, could grow on me with repeated listenings, but my issue is that a big bulk of this album does feel like it could have been extended, elevated, and kind of just further polished before some of these tracks being let out. That's all I have to say about Back to Black. I do think it is a worthwhile soul album, especially for the 2000s soul scene, which I hope to explore more in the coming videos. Which, if you like this video, please hit like, subscribe to follow along and listen to more soul albums throughout September. I already pretty much know, I think, the next few videos I'm going to do, but if you have a recommendation anyway, go ahead and leave it down below, and we'll see if we can cover any additional albums. As always, my name is Randy Joe. I appreciate you watching, and I'm signing off.